The Pond Hopper Challenge is a battle, a multi-bass species event. The challenge is that each angler is limited to 200-acre ponds. That's plenty of space for the giant ancient Siam Museum, but not so great for the lakes more superior. The online challenge lasted the entire month of May. Competitors could fish as often or as little as they desired. The angler with the highest total of inches at the end of the month on the 31st of May at 11:59. We'll take a look back at the standings going into the final week of the month-long Pond Hopper Challenge, where Jim Carrey was in the lead with 98 3/4 inches. Felipe Sanchez was in second with 97 inches. Junior Zarate was in third with 96.5 inches. And Brandon Henning was in fourth with 96.25. And Patrick Kelly was rounding out the top five with 93 inches. Last month's WKBF's Buck and Mouth Challenge winner J.R. Rowland was sitting outside the top five with only 2 fish submitted to the Tourney X leaderboard going into that final week. Brandon Henning did win the big bass pot with a 21 3/4 inch behemoth worth $152. That's awesome, man. $152 big fish. That's a good day for sure. 21 3/4. Man, it was like 5 pounds, something like that. It's a big fish, dude. Catch him in May. That's awesome. The final standings for the WKBF Pond Hopper Challenge were Jim Carrey wasn't able to find the coal that he was looking for in the final week of the challenge and would finish in second place with 98 3/4 inches. Still a good start. 2 challenges down, second place. Felipe Sanchez was able to coal up an inch, but would still fall 3/4 of an inch behind Jim. But good for an impressive third place finish, and that's what, a second and third going into these challenges. He's doing good, man. And Junior Zarate coaled up an inch and would give him a total of 97.5 inches, and he would finish the event in fourth place. And Brandon Henning, the big fish winner, was unable to find a bigger bass bite, and he would finish in fifth with a total of 96.25 inches. Those are all kind of impressive. Everybody's fishing until the last minute, it seemed like. J.R. Rollins would catch what he needed to win the event in the final week of the competition with a total of 100.5 inches. Has 2 challenges in a row catching over 100 inches. He did it in April for the Buck and Mouth and now in May for the Pond Hopper Challenge. He's off to a good start for sure. Kind of crazy. You had only 2 fish going into the final week, so I messaged him to congratulate him, call him out on his sneaky strategy, and his reply was, it wasn't a strategy, he just has trust issues. But he caught those 4 20-inch fish in the final days. You decide, man. Strategy or fortunate events, man. It's got a wild, dude. It's cool, though. I believe him for sure. From 2 fish to winning it. 2 months, month to month back. He's definitely first in the AOI. Just hanging out over the 100 inches 2 months in a row, dude. Crushing it. Those Northwest Bass Candy guys, man. They're in the leaderboard again, first and third. Second to Jim Carrey. Junior and Brandon, too, man. Good job. For sure to everyone that played. What do you call it, man? Competed. There you go. Jeez, dude. Played. Something's wrong with me. Moving on to Idaho in the IKBF. Going into the final week of this challenge, it was Rick Thanstrom in the lead with 101 3/4 of an inch. Wow, man. Well over the 100-inch marks. Behind him was Ivan Cruz, also over the 100-inch mark with 101 1/4 inches. Joseph Christie was in third place with 95 1/4 inches. Caden Olson at 93.5 inches. And in fifth place was Brad Andrews at 90 3/4 of an inch. Not a bad start for these guys either. Going to the finals, and that's where you want to be, right? Top 5. Sitting with a nice cushion up in the 100-inch mark, you know what I mean? Like, no worries after Ivan. Ivan catch him. He's only half an inch behind. And the IKBF would end in another tie. This time for the big fish pot would end in a tie with 2 giant 22-inch largemouths caught during the IKBF Pond Hopper Challenge. This is where it gets kind of interesting. I mean, does the tiebreaker go to the guy that catches the fish first or who submits it first to Tourney X? And judges do have both bits of information, too, at their hands. I mean, they just look it up, too. I looked it up. they obviously could look it up. But Ivan Cruz and Caden Olson caught their monster-sized fish on the same day, according to the Tourney X leaderboard. Both were caught on May 13th. But Ivan waited until the next day to submit his catch at Tourney X. And Caden submitted his catch on the 13th of the same day that he caught it, which would be why he would take the big bass pot of $66.50. That's interesting. For sure. Like, yeah, the Tourney X page, if you lay like the mouse pointer over the catch, it'll show you the date and time that it was caught, and it'll show you the date and time it was submitted. It's kind of crazy to lose a fish like that, man, because he did catch it first, but he didn't submit it first. Wow. It's little things, man. Little things. But I mean, you learn, right? Who would have thought anyway? You know what I mean? 22 inches, who's going to beat that, first of all? Second of all, who's going to submit it before I do? And they caught it. I think that's just crazy, man. Same time, same day. Around the same time. Not exactly same. Like 4 hours off. Same day, though. And we head back to the finals. For the finals of this event, it was the competitors would stay in the same positions for that entire week. Joseph Christie and Caden Olson were able to find coals, but not enough to move them up any further on the leaderboard. Last month's IKBF bucket mouth winner, Brad Andrews, caught a 5-fish limit and a total of 90 inches and 3/4, placing him in 5th place. That's 2 top 5 finishes in a row. It doesn't come easy and should be enough to place him towards the top of the IKBF Online Series AOY. Then Cade Olson would finish in 4th place with a total of 95 inches. That's the improvement from the 8th place finish in last month's bucket mouth challenge. So he's on his way up, man. Figuring it out. I think it gets easier as the season goes on to catch fish. I struggle in the early spring. Spawn, pre-spawn. Post-spawn in summer should be getting heating up. And then Joseph Christie in 3rd place with a total of 98 3/4 inches. He was three positions better than he was finished last month. I guess he finished 6th in the bucket mouth. Bucket mouth last month. And then Ivan Cruz and Rick Thanstrom both caught over 100 inches in the pond hopper challenge, but it would be 101 3/4 caught by Rick Thanstrom that would win the event. Ivan Cruz placed 2nd by only a half an inch, so they didn't coal up at all. They stayed at 100s, where they're at going into that final week, right? Why not? I'm sure they tried, though. Don't get me wrong. Right? Yeah. Idaho's doing good, man. These challenges are so close in all 3 divisions. It's kind of wild. They're fun to cover. They're like looking at the stats. I wait until that last week to even see what's going on, just to be surprised. I look at it and get like, dang, man. Things happen, though. These challenges are really neat. It's not too late to sign up either. There's plenty of time. You can still catch AOYs, too. We got the Bronzeback Challenge going on now. That's going to be an interesting one for sure. For sure. I know Flippy, he's going to try and repeat it from last year. He won the Bronzeback Challenge last year, fishing that river from the giant smallmouth. And now we head to Oregon in the OKBF to get the results of their Pond Hopper Challenge for the month of May. Going to the last week of the OKBF Pond Hopper Challenge, Jacob Jarvis had a 2 3/4 inch lead over his father, Michael Jarvis. The father-son duo were in 1st and 2nd place going into the final days. But there's some interesting rides in your phone from the lake for that month, man. That's crazy, man. That's fun times, though, dude. The banter that must be going on between the two things. This is going on, dude. They're going into the final week, 1st and 2nd place. That is crazy. And then 3rd place would be Jason McClure with 92 1/4 inches. Brian Beardsley was in 4th with 88 3/4 inch. And Jeremy Fischel was 86 1/2 in 5th place, sitting in the top 5 going into the final week of the event. Or challenge. Challenge. Jacob Jarvis would win the big bass pot for the Pond Hopper Challenge with a 21 3/4 inch largemouth bass. He took home $114 and a month's worth of bragging rights, right? He won the biggest fish, and he beat his dad, biggest fish. A 2 for 1. That's fun times, though, for real. For real. Jeremy Fischel and Brian Beasley didn't make any coals in the final week and would still remain in their positions from the week prior. Jeremy finished 5th with 86 1/2, and Brian finished 4th with 88 3/4 inch. Jason McClure coaled up 1 1/4 inch and would finish in 3rd place with 93 1/2 inches. Jason has finished in the top 3 for 2 online challenges in a row. Jacob Jarvis didn't find any upgrades and would finish the event in 2nd place with 95 1/2 inches. He won last month's Bucket Mouth Challenge and in 2nd place in the Pond Hopper Challenge. He's setting himself up for a really good season. He's top of the AOI for sure. 1st and 2nd place. Yeah, you're up there. It's a good start, man. Congrats, dude, for sure. Michael Jarvis coaled up 3 3/4 inches and moved up the leaderboard into 1st place with a total of 99 1/4 inches. What a month for the duo, battling back and forth, and they both have something to brag about. Michael, the dad, won the overall, and Jacob caught the biggest fish, man. Those are good times for sure. And we're up to date now on the challenges. The next one, like I said before, is the Bronzeback Challenge going on now for challenges. And then June 15th, the big KF&W event with WKBF, OKBF, and IKBF all show up at the same place. Lake Waula and Tri-Cities area. of Washington, and then the No Limit Native events the same weekend. I signed up for that. I don't know how it's going to go. I haven't fished in months, dude. Probably even longer than that. But yeah, that's it. Like, follow, subscribe. Find me on Instagram at 2morecast. And I should probably post most of my stuff. It's probably the easiest place to get a hold of me. I got some more interviews coming next week. And then the June 15th event. It'll be a big one. We'll see what happens there, though. We will see. All right. That is all.